what if we get to August and the Cowboys are like, okay, Dak, you got us. We will pay this price. But then Dak and his people are like, well, no, that's right now's price. But what is the price in a few months? And that is what makes this so interesting is, and I think you're completely right. Like if there is a guy who has made enough money and has enough competitive edge to turn down that type of deal because he can get a better one in March, it's Dak. Like that tracks with everything we know. And I'm so fascinated by the idea of the Cowboys being willing to come to the table in August and Dak and Todd France just being like, no, we're good.
If I'm Dak, what do you think that number is? What do you think the number is from a AAV and guarantee perspective for me to forego free agency next year?
It's got to start with a 6, I think.
I'm looking at 3 years, $180 million with $150 million guaranteed. And if you're not giving me that, then I'm out of here.
Oh, that. Yeah.
Why wouldn't you approach it that way if you were him and his people?
And that's true. And that's a great point. Like, again, there's no club control here. There's no franchise tag. We've seen Kirk Cousins do this. Like, it's easy to think of these extensions in terms of 4 or 5 year deals. It should not shock anybody if Dak Prescott wants to go 3 years at a time for the rest of his NFL career. Like, that shouldn't be surprising.
If you go 3 years, then he's a free agent again when he's 33. And you get a chance to cash in again. And that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about an extreme amount of leverage from the player side in a way that we very rarely see. Typically, if you're a quarterback, all you can try to do is take it to the franchise tag and hope a team isn't willing to do that because whatever reason, whether you're available for trade like Lamar was last year, but so few guys are willing to do that. At the end of the day, the team still has the tag to use. I can't remember something like this, where you've had a quarterback who you couldn't tag that was entering the final year of his deal that really didn't have much incentive to take anything less than an earth-shattering number because of how he's entering into these negotiations. And that's how it feels with Dak right now.
I've said this on other shows, on other appearances before. I don't trust that the Cowboys realize the situation that they're in. And I get it. I mean, the Cowboys, they have the brand power. They have the money when they want to spend it. It reminds me of being like in college and being like, yeah, I can get away with studying for this the night before. I do it all the time. Sure, I'll get like a B, but that'll be fine. Relative to how much work I put into this, that'll be fine. But I'm worried the Cowboys are approaching it that way, and it's like, guys, no, man, like you don't have the control here. And if you show up to the table at training camp expecting to do the very normal deal that you've done with so many guys, I'm not convinced it's going to go the way you think it is.
Kirk Cousins got $100 million guaranteed and $45 million a year at age 36 coming off of a torn Achilles. What do you think Dak Prescott would be worth on an open market with multiple teams who would probably be bidding for him?
I'm starting to think we're going to see, and maybe, it's contingent on how far the Cowboys are willing to go, like how much they're willing to give up. Cause I really think that's what it comes down to. It was like, if you're willing to write Dak's number on a blank check, then we can talk. But otherwise, I really think we're going to get to see it, which just as somebody who's followed this for a long time, as a fan of the parity of the NFL, I would be so excited to see that if we get to a point where 3 to 5 teams are bidding for Dak's services in March. That would be insane.
And then he leaves, and then the best that you can do is a 3rd round comp pick, which we know they would get because they wouldn't sign anyone in free agency. So it's not a hypothetical like it is with some of these other teams, but I still don't think that's the type of consolation prize you would want for a top 8 quarterback in his prime. And that's exactly what Dak is. And that's why it's so crazy that they've let it get this far.
A 3rd round comp pick, Trey Lance on a 2-year prove it deal. And oh, by the way, Dak's dead cap charge on your salary cap is still $35 million because you restructured his deal. It would be bad for the Cowboys, but does that mean they are willing to let Dak name his price? I don't know the answer to that. I cannot wait to see what happens when they get out here to Oxnard.